Yeah, thanks for joining. So Salim, before I start with the training description, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Ismail Irfan, and you can call me Irfan. I have around 10 years of experience in the IT industry, starting with my SAP domain, and I'm a certified HANA consultant working on HANA since its beginning, you can say, from past 5 years now, on HANA especially. And I'm part of both HANA admin as well as all the basic activities, including the upgrade, maintenance stuff. Uh, and I've been associated with SAP Bits from more than 5 years now, and so I take up the multiple trainings, corporate and online trainings. Okay, so that's a quick intro about myself. Before I proceed, I would like you to introduce yourself with your qualification, background, and your interest for SAP HANA admin.
Hello, this is Salim Sheikh here. I've been in the IT industry for the last 4 years. I've been working on SAP basis, and basically I've
Hello, Salim, your voice is breaking.
I'm working on SAP basis for the last 4 years. I've done some upgrade also from EHP 6 to EHP, ECC 6 to EHP 6 upgrade. I've been working regularly for the last 4 years. My experience on SAP basis, but I need to study SAP HANA. That's a new technology that is coming in the market, and I need to have some information on that. And I would like to particularly go in for the how do you convert all this data, whatever data migrations or something, upgrade experience.
Okay.
And of course, basically SAP HANA admin also I would like to understand how different is it from SAP basis.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Salim. So that helps me to understand how I can proceed further. So Salim, first of all, SAP HANA, it's just like any other database. You might have been working on with Oracle DB2, SQL Server, MaxDB, anything. Okay. So apart from, I call it as a database, it is more called as an appliance. Okay. I'll go into the details about the topics and everything once we start the details, but I'm just giving you a differentiation of why HANA has been more prominent. Okay, so this is a product of SAP, and you can also say that SAP also has its own database product, which is known as MaxDB. Okay, but SAP came up with this brilliant innovation, HANA, because here it is not just a database, it is also an application development platform. And when we say the database, this is a unique database which not just resides on your disk, but your complete database is residing in memory. When I say memory here, it is your RAM at the hardware side. Okay, if I have to just compare with your any other traditional database, like if you talk about Oracle also resides some of the important content in the buffer or shared memory or a RAM, but most of the content is residing on the disk. So whenever it is required, when it requires some specific content, then it pulls into the buffer and then it reads. Okay, but in HANA, everything is residing in the memory itself. Okay.
Sorry for disturbing us. Basically, I've gone through all this.
Yes. So,
yeah, most of the things are here. Basic preliminary things, whatever required, what is in memory, that I've in fact read it through. So I don't want you to
Okay. Since you asked me why we are using HANA, so I started reading on that.
Basically, these things have. So now, what are things you'll be covering? To what extent you will be going into the in depth of this? So that I would like to understand.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I'll directly jump onto the syllabus part now. So in this training of HANA, we are concentrating for exclusively the administrators of HANA database. So I'll be going through the following ADMs. As you know, they are the standard materials from SAP. and do not have any customized material, so I usually follow the direct from the standard materials. So saying here, the HA200 is the most important above all of this. 80% of your topics or the admin topics will be covered from this, and 240, 250 are specific to your DMO operations, that migrations and your security stuff. Okay, and 100, it's like almost all the topics of 100 are again more detailed if they are covered in HA200. Okay, so it's like an intro here, and most of the contents are again covered in HA200. Okay, so the syllabus has been distributed in from or picked up from all these ADMs now. So we will be going with the overview of this. If you want, we can skip this topic if you are very much familiar. And next, the HANA versions, editions, what we have, the sizing methodology, how you need to perform a sizing. Then what the installation of HANA. Here we will be providing you the real-time installations. We do not show any screenshots, so live installation we can do. We'll be performing updates on the HANA platform. We will try to use various methods of installing, because I hope you know there are various tools through which you can install, update your HANA database. Okay, so we'll be going with all the methods. And then the look and feel of the HANA Studio, which is the admin tool through which you will be monitoring, administering your complete database. So how you need to do performance tuning, what kind of details you as an admin you have to keep in view. So all those details will be covered. And of course the HANA architecture, which I feel is the most important all of this, to understand the architecture. If you are very familiarized with this, then you can you will be good enough to analyze the issues on HANA. Right?
I just read through. I haven't worked on it, but I just read through. So reading is something different.
Yes.
And so, how different is the security from a basis point of view to the SAP HANA?
See, SAP, when I say security here, it is specific to HANA security, HANA database security. Don't combine it with the SAP security of what we have. That security is to the SAP application level security. Okay, so here security. Yes, that is a secondary. Here when I'm saying HANA database, so we are very specific to HANA database and the security related at the database level. So what kind of users you can create at the database level, how the roles have to be assigned. So what is the structural format HANA database has been,
that's a database
they have been divided. Yes, this is completely a database related training what I'm discussing here. Okay, so I'm not combining with the SAP security. Don't confuse with the SAP security.
No, those are not connected with the SAP security, user creation, role creation, and
no. That is a complete application level security is different. But here at HANA database, it is an HANA level security. What we are discussing.
Those things remain same, or that also has changed?
With what?
Application security has changed, or that is same as of ECC?
No, that is completely different. That is completely different. You can segregate.
That remains same. That remains same.
That remains same. Yes, that remains same. Yes. Okay, so next is the hardware and software requirements. So these are again part of your sizing topics, and of course this what I've told you, the installing methodology, studio installations, post installation steps, various activities what you have. Again, some of the security topics will be covered here, like user creations and kinds of, and then operations, like when you stop and start the database in a scale out scenario or in a generic scenario, what commands and how you need to, which logs you need to look into when you have issues with both of these activities. Okay, and periodic manual tasks are important for your day-to-day administration monitoring purpose. And then we have the data provisioning topic, which is like this known as the sidecar approach. That this is for the people or the clients who are running on a legacy database and who are willing to move on to HANA. So what kind of methodologies SAP HANA has provided to move the database from their Oracle to HANA. So there are various methodologies depending upon the scenario. We select them. Like for some of, I'll give you a short, this like smart data access, replication server, landscape transformation replication server, data services, uploading from flat files, uploading data from into your studio and from your OS level. So there are various data provisioning methodologies. Okay, we can practically we will be going with some of them, but not all of them will be possible, because in certain cases, like for example, there is a scenario where you require a Sybase replication server, which is without license we cannot use it. Okay, so wherever we can do show you practical scenarios, everything will be covered in this topic. And security, when I say HANA security, exclusive topic on the various distribution of roles and privileges. And
yeah, this is a one-time thing, HANA security, or this is a continuous change thing? SAP HANA, it's only one initial setup.
No, sorry, I didn't get
HANA security I'm talking about.
Right. This topic covers you the
this is a one-time. No, this is a one-time activity. You create it and then keep it aside, and then things go on. Like in Oracle security, you used to have automatic user creation.
No. See, again, it depends upon your requirement. So if a client comes that for a so-and-so application, I want a user to be created, then you have to look into what privileges he require, what objects he requires. So depending on that, you need to assign it. And when you are assigning it, you need to have a thorough understanding of what an object privilege means, what a system privilege means, what an analytical privilege means. So that is where this unit will be covering you, to give you an overview of how SAP security is segregated and how you need to assign the roles and privileges. Okay, so when you are comparing with Oracle DB or any other database security, you cannot simply copy an user where all the roles and profiles will be copied when you copy a user, right? But in HANA, it doesn't work in the same way. So that's where we discuss in depth about how you need to proceed further.
This SAP HANA security you're talking about is the application level and database level?
No. It's a pure database level. That's what I told you.
The database level. Because normally in ECC with Oracle, we never used to touch at database level. Whatever was created by default, that was done.
Right. Now I'll tell you why.
My question was, yeah.
Yeah, so
my question was basically, this is a one-time activity or this is creating?
No.
Now and then we'll have to create.
Yes. So I'll tell you why this activity is being segregated every time. So here, when I said in the first, when I'm saying it's a SAP HANA DB, it doesn't just act like a DB. It is also an appliance, or I told you, right? So you can develop certain applications here. Right, so it is also it also provides you an environment where you can develop applications of Java, you name any advanced technology, you can develop it. But in your legacy database or your old, you've called as Oracle, you cannot develop application there. You have to develop SAP application here, and then you have to connect it to your database, right? So that is how your Oracle works. But in HANA, apart from database, you can also develop applications directly into the HANA database. So when you're developing applications directly here, your security mechanism will vary. So that is where the security topics of your HANA will be covered. Does it make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
So next and other. Yes.
One question is, yes. Normally, do you provide access of database to users at this level? When you are developing applications at database level, do you provide access to a database level? Because database access was restricted in earlier versions.
No. See, it is not like providing the without. That's what the security, how it deals is, if a person, Salim is a developer here, okay. So the developer should be having at least creating table access, okay, insertion access, updation access, and select access. Okay, so without these access, the developer cannot develop any application, because ultimately he has to create some tables, he has to create some objects, he has to update the entries, he has to delete the entries, so all kind of stuff. Okay, so that is where the developer will be assigned a specific role and privileges in order to perform his activities. But it doesn't mean
the developer doesn't create his whatever.
He will not be provided access to all the other tables. That's what a table level restriction, schema level restriction will be provided to him.
Okay.
Okay, so again, so when you enter into the topic, you will get to know more on this stuff.
Okay.
Okay, and the next and foremost important, I would say, the backup and recovery tasks. As an admin, you should be very familiar with how to take the backups on your database. So I hope you are familiar with the Oracle DB backup and recovery, right? So
yeah.
There are. So it works in the same way. The conceptually, the concepts are the same, but when we come talk about HANA, the HANA database will not have anything such as table space or containers in DB2. No, there is nothing of such concepts here. It's just data files will be there. You have to capture it. You have to recover it whenever necessary. But the database is again subdivided into something called as a tenant database, or a whole database is logically separated here. So we name that as a tenant databases in HANA. Okay, so how the tenant database has to be created, how it is different from your legacy database, and how you need to store, how you need to recover, how you need to back up them. So all those concepts will be covered in this.
Okay.
And when I say the monitoring and troubleshooting, this is exclusive activities of as an SAP admin. What are all various things you need to look into as your day-to-day activities as a HANA consultant. And again, some of the log structures, log files, which are specific, and trace files, how to set up a trace, how to capture logs, how to capture the traces, everything will be detailed, it will be described here. And the replication and migration concepts, so we can show, we can provide a demo on the migration of not using a DMO, because DMO requires a migration key here, which we cannot show it a demo. But of course, yes, from SQL to your HANA database, classical migration can definitely be taken as an example.
Okay.
Okay, and replication, the concepts will be covered here. SAP WITS is currently working on to get some other hardware. If it gets successful, we might probably work on the replication also practically, but theoretically all the stuff on the replication part will be covered. And I'm currently working on the HA environment in their landscape. So if it gets approved and if it gets legalized, then yes, of course, we can show you a demo on HA environment also. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you their environment here. We have two hosts for the HANA boxes, and we currently I have installed the HANA 2.0. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the recent HANA. So currently HANA is on HANA 2.0, the version of HANA. SPS2 is the latest patch. It started with HANA 1.0, SPS 3. But the current version of HANA is HANA 2.0, SPS2. You have revision 23. Okay, so that's the latest HANA software version we have. So we will be going with the HANA 2.0 only, the one which is the latest in the market, and the syllabus will be entirely dependent on 2.0. There are slight variations architecturally and new concepts added, known as HANA Cockpit. This was already present in the previous version, but this has been enhanced and more. HANA SAP is planning to move complete administration on the HANA Cockpit, and the HANA Studio. You might have heard about this. This is an admin tool. Down the line, SAP is probably they are going to remove the Studio features, complete Studio access, and only HANA Cockpit will be removed for admin access. Okay, but in our training,
HANA Fury also something.
HANA Fury is, it's a UI development interface. We will not be, as an admin, you will not be working on Fury at all. So that's why it's a completely different release.
But are they planning to replace this studio with UI something?
Yeah, that's what this HANA Cockpit. It is developed using your HANA Fury. Your Fury is a UI language. Okay, so what they are doing is now they are completely using this Fury and everything they are putting it on web. Okay, so Cockpit is one of their invention using this Fury. It was already present in previous editions also, but not so sophisticated. But now what they are doing is they are enhancing Cockpit and they are stabilized the studio. So down the line, the HANA says probably after a few more patches or something, only Cockpit will be utilized for every admin activity.
You would be covering this patch application or something?
Absolutely. As I told you here in the installation, where do we have that? Yeah, here in this topics of HANA installation. Okay, and post installing, we will be, and there is one more area. Yeah, in the pre and post installations and the installation topic. Okay, here we will be covering both the installation and updates. Okay, when I say update, I'll show you how to update a single revision. We will see how to update a complete. Probably we can use we can update from HANA 1.SPS 12 to HANA 2.0. Okay. If you look out the major release change, the revision are very simple. The revision are like some in a layman terms to make you understand. They are like software component patch updates. You might have updated STPI API components of SAP, right?
Yeah.
And you have also updated some stack update, complete stack update, SPS update, what we say. Right, so here what we'll be showing revision updates are nothing but like simple component update, but from 1.0 to 2.0 is something like a release upgrade of SAP, like moving from ECC 6.0 to complete new release, like to S4 HANA. Okay, this is like the major change. Okay, and the various tools for updating and what all methodologies we have, everything will be covered. And again, as I told you, I am still following the standard materials. I'll be going through the material directly. And if you are interested for certification also, this is the material what you have to follow. So at the end of the training, I can say that you will be ready for your certification and you can go for it if you're interested.
So, okay. Yeah, what you're showing is HA200 material.
This is the HA200, yeah. I have actually, to make things easier, I have just segregated and prepared an Excel, because these ADMs are for those who are already trained. So the topics are jumbled a bit. So I've just reshuffled them to our understanding.
Okay. You would be referring to HA100 also for some?
Yes, of course. I'll show you wherever if there are any differences, but frankly I didn't see any much major change from 100 and 200. As I told you, 100 is like an overview at a generic level, but 200 is a more specific in detail. Okay, we will be sharing you all the materials during the time, and access also you will be provided. For access and the rest all the details you can contact SAP HANA on that.
Okay.
Okay. So any other queries, Salim, from your end with respect?
No, but I had asked you in fact. So I was in a little. You can show some exercise on conversion of data or something from.
Yes. See here I told you, right?
For that you will require migration key or something.
If you are looking for DMO concept, you require a migration key, which is not practically possible. Okay, but anyhow, see, the classical migration and the DMO does not have a major differences. Once you are thorough in the classical migration, I think you should be able to take up the DMO very easily, because ultimately you will be using the end tool, the same sum tool. Okay, some of the options will be changed in DMO. That's it. Okay,
what do you use for classical migration? What do you use?
For classical migration, if you have to do any patching at the beginning, you will be using some, but SWPM will be the main tool to perform this. You will be using a classical export of the data and then importing into your HANA database.
Okay. Okay. How does the conversion happens for this? It happens in HWPM only, this row-based tables.
No, sorry, I didn't get your query.
In HWPM, you said exports. Right? Exports will be exported at Oracle level and then imported.
Yeah, probably. We will take our source database as SQL Server because I think it is a lightweight database, and then what we can do is since it is a practice purpose, we can create some random tables. Okay, customize it. We can customize some tables, and then what we can do is we will export this complete table or complete system. So your customized tables will also be exported, and then we will import it on a HANA database. Any system with HANA database.
Okay, no issues. No issues.
Okay. Because ultimately you need to understand when you export the data, how the file systems are present, how the what log files will be generated, everything, and when you are importing it, how the conversion is happening. Okay, so that's the motto. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much, Salim. That's all from my end. Let me know if you have any queries.
Yes,
thank you, but okay, now this no, it's okay. This you would be providing some terms for what do you call for clearing your
certification. Yeah, I can share some of my material because I have taken up the latest version some time back, so I prepared some questions queries on that. So yeah, probably we can show you some material. I can get you whichever course if you are interested.
And when are you planning to start this? In fact, in what timings?
Well, I would
get in touch with.
Yes, it would be better with her. Yes, you can please contact with SAP HANA, and then later on.
I think I don't know whether she.
Oh, she might have left. Okay,
anyway, we'll disconnect.
Yeah.
We'll disconnect.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.